for this opportunity. I appreciate it. You have a huge following, and I know our people follow you wherever you go. So I appreciate this opportunity to talk directly to the community. So, wow. So let me first say that I have known President Biden for some time and Dr. Biden for some time. I got to meet them when he was vice president I believe, in 2009, 2010. I can't remember when exactly. I met them around that time, and I used to travel with him all the time. I was working in the White House, but I was working for President Obama. But because he was traveling, I was a regional political director, so I had a region that he traveled to a lot. And I had Delaware, I had Massachusetts, I had Pennsylvania, and he just would always go there for different things, whether it was political, whether it was government, or helping out a congressional member, or lifting up work that we were doing in that state, in that city. And that's how I got to know him. And he was like one of those politicians or one of those elected officials that you meet that is completely genuine and is proud of how he's helped his community. And it was just he was just a joy to get to know. And so, the reason I tell this story is because when I was asked to come work for him in the White House, there would be really no other person that I would come back to do this job for, or come back to work in the White House for, because these are hard jobs, Wanda. These are incredibly difficult jobs. They're not easy. I have my own family. I have a young daughter who just turned 8 very recently, and to do these jobs, you have to believe in the person, but not just the person, the platform, what they want to do for the country, what they want to do more globally. And so I say that because being a spokesperson, now you add being a spokesperson and being a voice for an administration or for anyone, you have to, when you speak, you have to believe it. When you speak, you have to make sure that you are speaking in a forceful, real way that is transcending, that is connecting with the community. So when the president called me into the Oval Office to ask me if I would be his spokesperson, it was easy to say yes. It was easy for me to be able to say, yeah, you know what, I want to do this for you, sir, as long as I can. And I am honored. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. It's an honor and a privilege, not just to be the White House press secretary, but for anyone who walks through the gates of this White House, anyone who sits in the West Wing or in the EOB, which is the Eisenhower Executive Office building, which is just right across the way. It is truly an honor. As an immigrant, as a Black girl, it is an honor every day. Every day. Just think about it. Just think about, what we all carry on our shoulders when we walk through these gates every day. Our ancestors, the people before us, I would have never imagined, if you asked me when I was 10 years old, if you asked me when I was 15 years old, that I would be here right now talking about being White House press secretary. I would be like, get out of here. I'd be like, no way. There's no way I would be able to, there was no way I would have believed that. And so that's what I carry with me. And I think that's just not me. I think that's every White House colleague that has a story, that has a background, that where they're not supposed to be where they are right now, that has in their mind, or when they were growing up, or feels like they have broken some sort of ceiling, or not a statistic that people thought you were going to be. It is an honor and a privilege to truly be here and stand at that podium every day to represent the president, to represent this Biden-Harris administration, but also the multiple communities that I tap into, that I'm part of, but also the American people. So I am the main spokesperson for the president, which means that I am always on the record, practically. Anytime that the president is announcing something or is speaking on an issue that is really important to the American public, I am usually the person that's out there speaking on the record, whether it's in a statement or whether it's at the podium. So I am at the podium, the White House podium, which probably most people see me behind every day. And I take the questions of what we call the White House press corps. There are the folks who are sitting in the room who are shouting questions at me. They basically focus and follow the president. They travel with the president wherever he goes, whether it's in Pennsylvania or whether it is, in Europe. And so it is a crew of people that just, almost 24/7, write about the president, write about the issues, write about what's happening, write about what is it that he's envisioning, wanting to do for the country. And so that is my shop. I have the White House press operation. We basically talk to those folks every day. We answer the questions that they may have, and more broadly, not just the folks in the room or the folks that are here in the White House. So we are one of the only offices, just to step back for a second, that have our constituency is actually in the White House, which is the White House Press Corps. They are not far from where I'm sitting. They have booths. They have little small offices that they work in, that they just, they're there. That's where they work out of. And so they are right there, and they come to my office, they ask questions. So it's essentially talking for the president on a daily basis, being on the record for the president on a regular basis, being at the podium. And I also travel with him. Normally, anywhere he travels, I'm normally traveling with him, or someone from the press shop is traveling with him, because again, he has a group of reporters that travel with him. So it is a 24/7 job that keeps us very, very busy. You also have to know your stuff. You have to know the policies of the president. You have to know what's going on in the country and across the globe, because we have to answer for issues that pop up on behalf of President Joe Biden. Not my personal opinion. When you take these jobs, and it doesn't matter if you're a White House spokesperson, a press secretary, or if you are working in the policy shop, or if you're working, in the legal arena shop, it doesn't matter. You represent the White House. You are speaking even if you're talking about politics, even if you're talking about any issues around the world, if people know that you work for the White House, you are always speaking on behalf of the president. We have a job. I have a particular job where everything that I do, it doesn't matter if I go to a Haitian wedding, if I go to a christening, wherever I go, because I'm so visible, and because people see me, I am branded to this administration. I always have to be aware that whatever I say, people are going to perceive it, and it is actually on behalf of the White House. So that is just the job. That is what I signed up for. That is what I said yes to when the president asked me to take this job, and that is something that I am very aware of. Anywhere I go, I am representing the White House. Even if it's on a Saturday at 8:00 and I'm going out to dinner with my friends or my family, I am representing the White House because of how visible I am in this role. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I don't blame anybody for in the Haitian community or fault them for thinking that, right? We say all the time, representation matters, and it does. I represent so many communities. I cannot hide from that, right? I cannot deny that. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of being a Haitian American that works in this White House. I'm very, very proud of it. And my identity makes me who I am, right? My identity is has actually built the person that you see in front of me. My Haitian parents, the food that I grew up on, the church that I went to, the community that I grew up in. I grew up in New York, in Queens, and in Long Island, Hempstead, Long Island. A big community of immigrants, of Haitians, of from the Caribbean diaspora. There is a lot of culture that I've been surrounded in. So I appreciate, and I will always love that identity that I have. But like anybody else who has a job, right? When you are at that job, there are things that you have to do for that job, right? And this is my job. My job is to be the spokesperson, the White House press secretary, essentially the chief spokesperson for the President of the United States. That is my job. And so, it doesn't take away where I came from, my identity, but this is the job that I have. So luckily, all those issues that you have talked about are issues that the president really cares about. Right? When you think about immigration, when he walked into the White House over a year ago, 18 months ago, which I can't believe we were at 18 months, he put forth an immigration reform. The president believes that we have to fix the broken system that he was handed. He was handed over a broken system that was inhumane. And he knows it's going to take time to fix that. And so he is doing everything that he can to fix this broken, inhumane immigration system. And that is something that I am proud to be part of, that he's going to do everything that he can, that he understands that things need to change. But again, it's going to take some time. When we think about how people are treated and how we have to be, making sure that folks are treated with dignity. He says that word all the time, with dignity and care. And so, this is a president that truly cares about people, who wants to give people an opportunity. He wants to make sure that everyone, it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, have an opportunity to succeed. And so that's number one. That this is an administration and a president who cares about that. And I talked to him about a lot of issues. That's the thing. That is actually one of the beauties of the gifts of being a White House press secretary, because there are issues and topics that come up that I actually get to talk to him about it directly. And, sometimes, I give my opinion on a topic, and he also knows who I am. I'm his press secretary. So he knows that I am Haitian-American. He knows that I cover, I'm clearly a Black woman. He knows where I am from and my different identities. And that's why he also chose me, because he wanted me to be the face of his administration, right? He understood the importance of having that. And so, I have direct access to him because of this role. And I see that as as an opportunity to learn from him, to hear what his thoughts are, and also to talk to him about real important issues. And here's the thing, governing is not an easy thing. Right? It isn't. The president, and he has said this, there's so much that he can do, but a lot of it is legislation. A lot of it is working with Congress and trying to get that work done. Yes, he has an executive authority. There are things that he can make happen, which he has worked on. But sometimes making that big change, we have to do it through legislation. So there's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of work that we have to put into this. It's only been 18 months. There's still a lot of work to be done. Well, first of all, it's an honor to me for anyone to look up to me. It has not been easy to get to where I am today. And I know exactly, just know that I know exactly what all of you are going through. Trust me, I know how hard it is. The fact that you have decided to take on politics, to be where you are sitting in your role right now, I know that's not easy. And it is a huge, huge ask of all of you. So first of all, I want to say thank you. So thank you for taking that on. Look, if this is something that you're passionate about, I always tell young people, go with what you're passionate about. go with what you're passionate about, and remember what your parents taught you. Remember what your community taught you. Remember, we come from an incredibly diverse history and culture, a culture that we should be proud of. And our ancestors are looking at us every day and are lifting us up. So don't ever forget that. Follow your passion, believe in yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. There's so many of them out there. I know sometimes our parents are like, why didn't you become a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, or a teacher, or nurse? And I know those things are very hard to hear, but just stay focused, believe in yourself, and you got this. Love following you guys on Instagram because you guys have some funny stuff that makes me laugh, and I'm just kind of like, this is funny, like like what it means like to be Haitian American or Haitian here, and like things that your parents say or things that people say. It was funny. It's great.
Yeah.